One of the things I find most striking is the presence of Antarctica on ancient maps, because we didn't discover it until 1820.
In the vast and unforgiving expanse of Antarctica, where ice and snow stretch as far as the eye can see, lies a world shrouded in mystery. Beneath the frozen surface, hidden from prying eyes, an astonishing revelation awaits. But what could it be? Well, keep watching to find out. Antarctica, an inhospitable and desolate land of ice and snow, has long fascinated explorers, challenging them to uncover its secrets. For centuries, this frozen wilderness has concealed an entire world, awaiting discovery by us. Before delving into the details of the recent findings, it's crucial to comprehend Antarctica, its significance and geographical features. Antarctica is a unique continent, predominantly covered by glacial ice. This ice is often termed the Antarctic ice sheet, but in reality there are two main regions of ice on the continent, each differing from the other in physical characteristics and history: the East Antarctic ice sheet and the West Antarctic ice sheet. The East Antarctic ice sheet is larger, thicker, and much older than its western counterpart, and it occupies a significant portion of the continent. Contrary to popular belief, it's mainly located in the Eastern Hemisphere, not centered over the South Pole. On the other hand, the West Antarctic ice sheet is situated in the Western Hemisphere, flanked by the Weddell Sea and the Ross Sea. Most of Antarctica lies south of the Antarctic Circle, except for parts of the East Antarctic, on the coastline, and the Antarctic Peninsula, which extend northwards from West Antarctica. Aside from the continental landmass, Antarctica hosts various islands, both large and small. For instance, the South Shetland Islands lie just north of the Antarctic Peninsula. Some of these islands are permanently connected to the mainland by ice, while others link only during specific seasons when sea ice expands and recedes. Along Antarctica's coastline, you'll find ice shelves with Ross Ice Shelf in the Ross Sea and the Rhone Ice Shelf in the Weddell Sea being the largest. These vast ice shelves cover an area larger than the British Isles. Moreover, Antarctica is renowned for being the highest continent on Earth. This is not due to its mountains, but the extensive ice sheets covering the land. The average surface elevation of Antarctica is approximately 2,000 meters above sea level, substantially higher than other continents. For example, in places like Dome A in the East Antarctic ice sheet, the ice surface reaches over 4,000 meters high. The height of the ice surface depends on both the underlying bedrock elevation and the thickness of the ice sheet, which vary across the continent. Antarctica is not only the highest continent, but also the coldest and driest place globally. If you're questioning how it can be the driest place despite being covered in snow and ice, you're not alone. The cold temperatures on the continent prevent the little accumulated snow and frost from melting, allowing the ice sheets to slowly build over time. According to geological experts, most of Antarctica and its islands are enveloped in glacial ice, with only a small percentage, about 0.32%, being ice-free. The ice-free areas exist due to specific local factors. For instance, tall mountain peaks known as nunataks rise above the ice sheets. These peaks remain free of snow and ice due to strong winds and steep slopes, which prevent accumulation. Given these factors, one might logically assume that beneath this location lies merely water and perhaps a layer of frozen ice that has persisted for years. However, this assumption is incorrect, and the recent discovery made by scientists has perplexed everyone. In a particular order, one of these discoveries is the shipwreck of Shackleton's Endurance. The ship, called Endurance, was a robust wooden vessel that Sir Ernest Shackleton and his crew navigated during the Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition from 1914 to 1917. Built in Norway in 1912 and initially named Polaris, the ship was designed to be sturdy and durable, with meticulous attention paid to every detail of its construction. Originally, Endurance was intended to be a luxurious yacht for Arctic tourism and hunting trips. It featured comfortable cabins, a dining area, a smoke room, a dark room for developing photographs, electric lighting, and even a small bathroom. However, when the commissioners funding the shipyard could not pay anymore, Shackleton purchased the ship in January 1914 for his expedition. Unfortunately, a year later, Endurance became trapped in ice and eventually sank in the Weddell Sea near Antarctica in November 1915. Surprisingly, all the crew members survived the sinking and were rescued in 1916 after using the ship's boats to reach Elephant Island. Shackleton and a few others then embarked on a journey to seek help. More than a century later, the wreck of Endurance has just been discovered by the research team Endurance 22. Resting nearly 9,869 feet deep in the sea, it remains in good condition. The wreck is now considered a protected historic site and a monument under the Antarctic Treaty System. Not long after the discovery of the Endurance, scientists discovered DNA from ancient microorganisms that lived around 1 million years ago, concealed in the Scotia Sea's seafloor. This discovery is significant because it's the oldest DNA ever authenticated. Prior to this, the oldest DNA discovered was around 650,000 years old and found in frozen soil in the subarctic regions. The unearthed DNA, referred to as sedimentary ancient DNA, originates from eukaryotes, organisms with cells containing a nucleus and other structures. Examples of these types of organisms include animals, plants, fungi, and algae. However, scientists are still unsure about the specific species of these ancient microorganisms. This record-breaking DNA was extracted from the seafloor during an expedition in 2019. To ensure the accuracy of the age markers in the DNA, scientists exercised great care to prevent any contamination during the extraction process. Another fascinating find scientists discovered on the icy continent are diatoms, single-celled organisms dating back to 540,000 years ago, a period when extinct creatures like mammoths, mastodons, saber-toothed cats, and woolly rhinoceroses still roamed the earth. By studying the abundance of diatoms, the team linked it to warmer periods in the past. The last warm period in the Scotia Sea occurred approximately 14,500 years ago, leading to increased marine life activity throughout Antarctica. The study demonstrates that analyzing cetaDNA can help us understand ecosystems that existed hundreds of thousands of years ago. Moreover, it provides new insights into oceanic changes over time. Scientists are continuously enhancing their techniques for extracting ancient DNA and removing modern DNA interference. This improvement allows them to gain a more accurate understanding of the past. By learning more about past climate shifts and ocean ecosystem responses, scientists can generate better models and predictions for future changes in the South Pole region. Since Antarctica is highly susceptible to climate change, studying its marine ecosystem's reaction to past and present environmental changes is crucial. This knowledge is vital for addressing the urgent challenges posed by climate change in this vulnerable region. If you think you've heard it all, hold on tight, because the next discovery will absolutely blow your mind. Deep beneath the frozen surface of Antarctica, a hidden world previously unseen exists. Recently, a group of scientists uncovered this mysterious ecosystem in an underground river located beneath the Larsen Ice Shelf, a gigantic ice sheet attached to the eastern coast of the Antarctic Peninsula. By examining satellite photos, the researchers identified a peculiar groove in the ice shelf near its junction with the land. They deduced that this groove was indeed a subsurface river. To delve into this concealed world, the team used a high-powered hot water hose to bore a hole, approximately 1,640 feet or 500 meters beneath the icy surface. They then sent a camera down through the tunnel they'd created, hoping to record footage of the underground chamber. However, the video feed was blocked by hundreds of tiny, indistinct particles in the water. Initially, scientists assumed there was an issue with their equipment. Upon closer scrutiny, they discovered that these particles were actually tiny shrimp-like creatures called amphipods. This was a surprising revelation because they hadn't anticipated finding any form of life so deep beneath the icy exterior. Craig Stevens, a physical oceanographer at the National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research in New Zealand, expressed his enthusiasm about this discovery. He mentioned that the presence of these animals suggests an important ecosystem in the subterranean habitat. The team was so thrilled about discovering this amphipod-filled ecosystem that they described their joyous reaction as jumping up and down with delight. But that's not all. Scientists and researchers recently published a highly detailed map of the frigid Southern Ocean surrounding Antarctica. This map features the deepest point ever discovered in the ocean, named the Factorian Deep, situated about 24,400 feet below the ocean's surface. The Factorian Deep was discovered in 2019 by explorer Victor Vescovo during the High 5 Deeps expedition. Victor used a submersible called Limiting Factor to explore the South Sandwich Trench, a lengthy underwater canyon between South America and Antarctica. According to scientists, the Factorian Deep is approximately as deep as 17 stacked Empire State Buildings. This trench crosses the 60th parallel south, an imaginary line separating the Atlantic and Southern Oceans. Vescovo's expedition mapped the entire length of the South Sandwich Trench for the first time, and they located the Southern Ocean's deepest point just south of the 60th parallel. Today, the Factorian Deep is featured in a new map of the Southern Ocean's underwater topography. This map was created through a collaboration between the International Bathymetric Chart of the Southern Ocean and the Nippon Foundation, or GEBCO, Seabed 2030 project, whose goal is to map the entire seafloor by 2030. This updated map is based on over 1,200 sonar datasets collected by research vessels from various countries. It covers an area of more than 18.5 million square miles, or 48 million square kilometers. Of the seafloor, more than double the coverage of the previous map from 2013. Despite the progress, there's still a significant amount of work needed to accomplish this ambitious project. Only about 23% of the squares on the map have modern depth measurements, meaning there's still a great deal more data to gather. Finally, there is the revelation that Antarctica once experienced frequent forest fires. This discovery was made by a team of scientists from Brazil and Chile. The research led by Dr. Jocelyn Manfroy, a Brazilian scientist specializing in ancient plants and animals, found evidence that Antarctica experienced regular forest fires around 75 million years ago. These fires were triggered by active volcanoes when dinosaurs still roamed the Earth. To make this discovery, the scientists collected samples of fossils and rocks from King George Island in the Antarctic Peninsula. They participated in scientific expeditions organized by the Chilean Antarctic Institute and the Brazilian Antarctic Program. As astonishing as it may sound, this is not the first time evidence of forest fires in Antarctica has been found. Dr. Jocelyn had previously discovered signs of ancient wildfires in the West Antarctic Peninsula in 2015, and another study in 2021 provided additional evidence. However, the new research by Dr. Jocelyn and her colleagues during her postdoctoral studies at the Chilean Antarctic Institute provides more robust evidence that Antarctica indeed experienced fires during the dinosaur era. And these forest fires were a common occurrence in the region 75 million years ago. Their important discovery, published in the scientific journal Frontiers in Earth Science on April 14, 2023, is titled Antarctic on Fire: Paleo-Wildlife Events Associated with Volcanic Deposits in the Antarctic Peninsula During the Late Cretaceous. The researchers believe that understanding global environmental changes is crucial for humanity. Studying past environments like Antarctica helps us construct scenarios to comprehend how our planet has evolved over time. What else is hidden beneath this continent that we are yet to discover? We might not have the answers now, but only time will tell.